Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have this week's episode of Dear Nero, which of course is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me in fan mail and or fan questions, and I do my best to go ahead and answer it. This is actually Dear Nero, episode 97, alright, so we have 3 weeks until episode 100 after this week, of course, so that's going to be pretty neat. Episode 100. It's always crazy when something gets to 100 episodes, right? Whenever a TV show gets to 100 episodes, whenever, even like Let's Play stuff. I remember my Borderlands 2 was the longest Let's Play I've ever done on my Let's Play channel, and it got up to 100 episodes. And then it's kind of gotten even more. We started doing some of the Headhunter DLCs and stuff, but it's just cool when that stuff happens. You know, 100 episodes of anything is pretty crazy, and we're not too far away from getting up to 100 episodes of Chem Strike Saturday as well. We're up in the 70s already, because we do usually 2 to 3 a week, whereas Dear Nero is only once a week. But yeah, gameplay, some Call of Duty Ghost here at start. I might put some Black Ops 2 in there. I'm not entirely sure what the gameplay is going to be this week. Let's see about that, but I hope you guys all enjoy the gameplay and this week's episode of Dear Nero, and let's hop into the questions. First question, he writes, Dear Nero, I saw a tweet in my Twitter feed from the Titanfall people talking about a new update that's going to be adding weapon balancing by nerfing the R101C carbine and some customization. Will you go back and check it out and play Titanfall a bit more, and do you think other people will? Thanks for consistently excellent videos, Jacob from Ontario. Well, Jacob, thank you for the kind words. I like my videos, and I'm glad that other people seem to like my videos as well. The Titanfall update, right? So I looked up this Titanfall update, and they've added a few things. They added so you're going to be able to put a custom emblem based upon like challenges you've done on top of your Titan, so your Titan will have a custom emblem. And they've added some new Titan burn cards in a new game mode, and they're going to be nerfing and buffing a few of the guns and stuff. But for me, it's like, man, that's just really not a lot. You know, like, one of the things, what everyone's complained about Titanfall, right, is that the game itself just doesn't have a whole lot of depth to it. You know, once you get over the initial shock value of like, oh boy, dude, we can run on walls and we've got Titans and we can double jump, like, once you kind of get over that, there isn't a whole lot like in the game that makes you want to keep on playing. There's no real progressional system in there that makes people want to continue to play. There's nothing that like drives people back to that game. Whereas in Call of Duty, you've got weapon challenges to go for. I think a lot of people just find enjoyment out of trying to get golden weapons or trying to make it up to the prestiges. And there is a prestige system where it's called Generations in Titanfall, but it's not that great because what they do is they add these regeneration requirements which make you do some ridiculous challenges and complete them to be able to go on to the next generation, which is their form of prestige. And a lot of them are just really annoying, tedious challenges that you would not want to do otherwise. The idea behind it is so that they can make you try out new weapons and make you try doing different things. Like one of the things is like get 50 kills, you know, with this certain Titan weapon. And that Titan weapon will be one of the most god-awful Titan weapons available that you never would have used otherwise, but you're now forced to use it the entire prestige, and you're going to end up dying a lot more because you're using inferior guns. And it just, I didn't like the prestige system. At first I thought it was pretty neat, but after playing with it a bit more, it's like, wow, I really don't like this system. And with this new update that they're adding, basically all we're getting is some emblems on your Titan, which you're probably not even going to see, similar to the Call of Duty Ghost emblems that are on your character. Like, did you guys know that? Did you guys even know that in Call of Duty Ghost, on your character, whatever, like, patch you have on your player card is actually, like, on your soldier's arm in the little tiny patch? You can't even tell it's there. I'm assuming the same thing is going to happen with the Titanfall emblems on your Titans. And, you know, weapon balancing and stuff that happens in every game. Like, it's just not really a big reason to make me want to go back and play Titanfall. If I do go back and play Titanfall, it's because I just kind of felt like playing Titanfall. You know, that'd be the whole reason I went back. But, you know, as of right now, it's like, just really don't feel like it. They add some new maps, and it's like, oh boy, now there's some more maps just to run around and be bored on. You know, it's just the game needs to have more customization, needs to have more guns first and foremost, which apparently they're still not adding. And yeah, that's Titanfall. It's a real shame about Titanfall. I think that was like definitely the most hyped game of this year, and it flopped pretty badly. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, you have 24 hours to do whatever you want and you have unlimited money. What do you do? Keep up the great work. Cal from Ohio. So Cal, this is going to be the most boring answer ever, but it's the most honest answer I can give you. If I had 24 hours to do whatever I wanted and I had an unlimited amount of money, I wouldn't even do the whatever you want kind of part. I would just take my unlimited money and I would buy an awesome house and I would buy a ton of land and I would fill that house with everything. Now, you may be wondering how you plan on doing this within 24 hours. Now, it can be tricky to buy a house like within 24 hours, but you can put the payment in for the house in cash right away, right? And all the land all right away, and then the processing and all that stuff will happen. But it's okay, because while you had unlimited money, you made the payment, right? You had all that go down. And now, if I were to fill this house, which is like the greatest things in the world, like the best TVs, a bunch of the best monitors and computers, and all the great audio stuff for YouTube and stuff, and all that great stuff, I would just like hop on Amazon and buy everything I could ever imagine or ever want in a home and have it all just be shipped to me, because of course it's all paid online. See, I would use that unlimited money for 24 hours to just buy an awesome house, because that's my end goal in life. I don't know if you guys know that. My whole goal in life is to own a house and own land. Like, some people want to be a doctor, they want to be, you know, a lawyer, you know, they want to do whatever it is they want to do with their life. They want to have a family. For me, my goal in life is to own a very nice house and a bunch of land with it. And I'm not talking like some mansion out in Los Angeles or something. I'm just talking in my town here in this area. I want to own a house, own a bit of land, and that's it. You know, that's my goal in life, I guess. And so I would buy that house, I would buy that land with unlimited money. I mean, I don't really care about cars, because I don't really go anywhere, because I'm on YouTube all day and making videos and playing video games. But I'd buy a decent car, right? I would just buy everything for this house that I want. And I would do that within my 24 hours. I wouldn't go skydiving, or I wouldn't fly to Vegas, or I don't know, I wouldn't do any of that. I would just, yeah. I guess another thing people might want to do is they would take that unlimited money and just bet on everything and try and win. And then the money you won from betting, you can actually keep, as compared to the unlimited money will go away after 24 hours. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. If you guys had 24 hours to do whatever you want, you had an unlimited amount of money, what would you do with it? Let me know about that. Next question. He writes, Dear Nero, what game mode do you prefer to play on Battlefield Hardline? Personally, I like Blood Money over Heist. Thank you. Jacob from the Great White North. So Jacob, I'd say yeah. At first, I tried out Heist, because that's what they showed in the trailers and what they showed at E3. I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. But it was actually kind of confusing, the game mode Heist. I still don't think I fully understand how it works. Whereas Blood Money, I understood that from the first game I played it, and I really like the concept of Blood Money. So I definitely like Blood Money way more than I like Heist. So when the Battlefield Hardline beta, I like Blood Money a lot more. And I'm also interested to see what other kind of game modes they're going to add to Battlefield Hardline. What are they going to do with that game? Are there going to be more exclusive game modes that are going to be brand new to the Battlefield series that are only going to be in Battlefield Hardline? I wonder about that. You know, I wonder, will they bring back Domination? I played a bunch of Battlefield 4, as you guys know, and Domination was my favorite game mode in that, because it can get kind of boring playing Russian Conquest, because there's occasionally times where there just isn't people. There just isn't people sometimes, and you just can't find enough action. You'll play, you know, a 30-minute match, and you get 15 kills or something in a 30-minute match. Sometimes that can happen in both Conquest and in Rush, and that's kind of a thing. And so I went to Domination, which was new to Battlefield when they added it in Battlefield 4, and it was just very fast-paced. It's a lot like the Call of Duty Domination, but a bit different. You know, they block off a lot of the maps, a very small map, wherever map you're playing on. 3 flags, tons of action. I love Domination in that, so I want to know, is Domination going to be in Battlefield Hardline? Of course, Blood Money Heist is going to be in there, and of course I'd like to play some Blood Money. But what else is be in there? You know, are they going to add new game modes? Are they going to add some more of the classic ones? Like, is there going to be a form of Rush and a form of Conquest? How are they going to do that? I'm just interested. You know, there's going to be more betas apparently coming to Battlefield Hardline. There's this one that just happened recently, but I think there's going to be more coming as well. And maybe in these new betas, we'll have a different map other than High Tension, and we'll be able to play on that. And maybe there'll be some different kinds of guns, or maybe there'll be different game modes other than Blood Money or Heist, or we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. And I'm looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to Battlefield Hardline, as I look forward to every Battlefield game every single year. I thought Battlefield 4 was actually a really, really good game. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, will you be doing a playthrough of Far Cry 4 when it comes out in November? I really enjoyed your Far Cry 3 Let's Play, but I understand if you don't want to do a playthrough of Far Cry 4. Keep the great work, Zach from North Carolina. So Zach, I'm not going to be getting Far Cry 4. Yeah, I never played any of the Far Cry games before Far Cry 3, right? My brother played it, and he really seemed to enjoy it, and I figured I'll play it. You know, I've got the time, obviously. I'll play Far Cry 3, I'll record it, I'll post Let's Play. I did to my Let's Play channel. But something about that game, I can see why people might like it, but for me, I just can't get into it. I can't get into the story. I can't get into the world. I just couldn't get into any of it. And I ended up like stopping the Let's Play like halfway through because I'm like, I am just so bored of this game. I don't like this game. I ended up forcing myself like 3 or 4 months later just to go back and finish the game and post up and finish the Let's Play and whatnot. But I just really didn't enjoy Far Cry 3 at all, and I don't think I'm gonna enjoy Far Cry 4 either. It's probably gonna be more of the same, which is okay. I hate when people. I could make a whole video on this series. I hate when people say, oh no, this new game in the series is a lot like the last game in the series. It's like, of course it is. It's a goddamn series. Of course it's going to be like that. Like, I hate people are like, oh, this Call of Duty game is just like the last one. It's like, of course it's going to be similar. They're in the same series. Or when people look at Battlefield Hardline and they're like, oh, this looks like just like Battlefield 4. It's like, of fucking course it does. It's Battlefield. I hate that. I hate that line of thinking. So, but it's true though. Like, Far Cry 4 is probably gonna be pretty similar to Far Cry 3, and because of that, I don't want to get it because I didn't like Far Cry 3. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I recently fractured a bone above my knuckle on my index finger in a downhill mountain biking crash. I will be in a cast for the next 6 weeks. My question to you is, have you ever been in a situation where you couldn't play video games for a long period of time, and if so, how did you cope with it? Sean from Louth, Ireland, Louth, Louth? Is your Louth or Louth? I'm not sure, but Louth, Ireland. All right. So he actually, like, in the description, like of the message, I guess, like in the message, he linked a video of him actually crashing on his bike, and the sounds you were making kind of scary. He's like he was definitely writhing in pain. He definitely hurt his hand, but I've never actually been in a situation where I couldn't play video games for a long period of time. I guess, I mean, I went to Florida for a bit. I stayed there for a week, but I didn't play video games while I was there. But I guess that's not really the question you're asking. I've never been injured or anything like that, like in terms of like I never hurt my hand or anything. I mean, I've been injured, I guess. I mean, you look at my body, there's a scar like, on my right elbow. All right, there's a scar there, and it's actually pretty well faded because I used to play American football a lot. I've gotten used to saying American football versus football or soccer or whatever. I used to play American football, right? And I'm predominantly right-handed, especially when you play football. I don't know, I'm always right-handed. When I play football, I usually carry the ball in my right hand, even if I was on the left side of the field, which is something you're not really supposed to do. But so the ball is right there, and people, when they tackle, they're taught to try and tackle and use your helmet. Put your helmet towards where the ball is. That way you can hopefully hit the ball out when you tackle them. And so from all the people constantly rushing their helmets right at my elbow, I've gotten to like this scar on my elbow from all the different cuts and scratches and scrapes and stuff on there. My knee, I got a scar down there. I wrecked my bike kind of similar to you, but mine, I was just trying to turn a corner really quickly when I was younger and it falling down and messing up my knee real bad. But the biggest injury I think I've ever actually had is I probably cracked my skull open probably 10 times or so over the course of my lifetime. Be it from wrecking my bike behind the fire hall, or we were climbing on these giant rocks where we go to the Cook's Forest, which is a place in Pennsylvania. We rent a cabin down there, like everyone, like all my extended family, we all chip in to rent this giant cabin together every year. And we have a big family reunion weekend there, but there's a bunch of big rocks there. And I fell, when I was way younger, I fell down in between a bunch of these giant rocks that are out in the woods and, cracked my skull open there. I've just fallen and busted my open many, many, many times. And I guess that's the biggest injury I've ever had, but other than that, I've never broke my leg, never twisted my ankle, never broke my wrist or anything like that. I've never actually been injured outside of like busting my head open and the occasional scars and bumps and bruises that everyone gets growing up. So I guess I've been fortunate in that regard. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what games did you purchase in these Steam summer sales, and do you recommend any of those games? Peace, Big Mac from Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon, Lisbon, Lisbon. I hate people from other places with your fancy names, and I'm probably mispronouncing them because I do that in every single episode. But what games did I purchase in the Steam summer sales? None up until today. I purchased Super Amazing Wagon Adventure. I think that's the name of it. It was like literally $1. I've seen some videos of it. It looks like a fun game. I don't know if I'll even post it on YouTube. But for $1, and it's a game that looks like it'd just be funny to giggle at for even 10 minutes, it'd be worth $1. So I bought Super Awesome Amazing Wagon Adventure, whatever that game's called. But other than that, I haven't bought anything from Steam Summer Sales, just because there's just nothing I want in the Steam Summer Sales. Like, I look at the games, and they're all games that I just have no interest in or I already own. And yeah, Steam Summer Sale is kind of a letdown for me this year so far. It's like, don't really want any of these, to be honest. It's like, whatever. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what ethnicity do you have? Max rank from Missouri. So my ethnicity, I guess, I don't know, there's a couple ways to answer this. Predominantly, I'm just white, if you're wondering about that. Like my heritage, I guess, would be the other part of this question. I'm predominantly English and Irish. I have a bit of Swedish and a little bit of Native American, just a little tiny little bit of Native American in there, thrown in as well from my grandma's side. So yeah, mainly Irish and English with a little bit of Swedish and a little bit of Native American would be all the different races that are infused to make me. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, how do you think the Call of Duty franchise would be different, especially Infinity Ward, if the old dev team from Infinity Ward didn't leave? Thanks for your time, Eric from Illinois. This is a tough question. Of course, it's all speculation, and we really have no idea what it would be like. So the old Infinity Ward versus new Infinity Ward. If you guys don't know, the Infinity Ward that made like all the Call of Duties, not all the Call of Duties, but most of the Call of Duties, going from Call of Duty 1, then they did Call of Duty 2, then they did Call of Duty 4, and then they did Modern Warfare 2. And then there was a big scuffle with Infinity Ward and Activision where literally 50 people from Infinity Ward all left and they all went and made Respawn Entertainment. And then Activision hired a bunch of new people, and that's the Infinity Ward we know today. The Infinity Ward that made Modern Warfare 3, and they made Call of Duty Ghosts. Well, how would Infinity Ward and Call of Duty be different if that original Infinity Ward team didn't leave? So for me, Call of Duty 4 was one of the best games ever. It is an amazing game. It still is to this day. Very, very good game. Modern Warfare 2, I even made a video about, was the best game that never was, because they had that giant fiasco falling out with Activision, and they couldn't really support their game because everyone kind of left, and it was just a big mess internally for Infinity Ward during Modern Warfare 2. So they didn't patch the One-Man Army Danger Close. They didn't patch, things like Commando. They didn't patch all the millions of well, they did patch them, but there were so many glitches in that game. I mean, there was Javelin glitches and care package glitches and see-through wall glitches, and there was aimbots and literal aimbots. I'm not saying that like that. People argue like, oh, he has an aimbot. He quickscoped me. No, these are literal aimbots. I know I had them. The game was very modded. And it could be, it was so great before, all the noob tubes and all the mods and everything started coming in. Where would it be? So, first and foremost, I think Modern Warfare 2 would have gotten fixed, right? I think Modern Warfare 2 would have gotten some balancing. Hopefully, they would have nerfed, the grenade launcher to nothing. Hopefully. That would have been, the best thing they could have done for their entire community. They could have done that. Maybe if Infinity Ward didn't have that falling out, Modern Warfare 2 would have gotten patched, would have gotten fixed, would have been regularly updated, and the game itself would be very, very good, and still good to this day. Who knows? I mean, to me, that game still has a lot of great memories. I still like that game a whole lot. And if they would have had a developer supporting it, I mean, it could have been even that much better. What would Modern Warfare 3 be like if the Infinity Ward team stayed? Now, I feel so it'd be a lot different than what we had today. Would we even have support package? Because it was the new Infinity Ward team that created Modern Warfare 3, and they introduced the idea of the support package. Would the support package, or specialist package for that matter, even be in any of the Call of Duty games if the old Infinity Ward didn't leave? Right? This new game, it might have been a lot more like Modern Warfare 2, where of course kill streaks are really kind of dominant. And other than that, the maps probably would have been a bit different, because I think we can all agree the Modern Warfare 3 maps, they were a lot different. All the older maps were kind of like 3-lane linear maps, whereas the Modern Warfare 3 maps were all kind of just circle jerky and clustery and spawns everywhere. I think the maps would have been a lot more like Modern Warfare 2, which in my opinion would have been a better thing. Support package might not have been in there, which I like support package. I'm in favor of that. I'm also, to a lesser extent, in favor of specialist package, because specialist package I would like to only be available in things like free-for-all, because specialist, while it's kind of neat, it's kind of a jerky move, It's like, okay guys, while you guys put up all the UAVs, while you guys are calling in all the air support, and while you guys are throwing down the ballistic vest, I'm gonna sit here and just gain more perks. It's kind of a selfish way to play Call of Duty in a team-based game mode, running around with specialists. It's kind of a jerk move, if you ask me. So I kind of like specialists, but I like specialists only if it's available in free-for-all or something like that. So it'd be different to not have either one of those in any of the Call of Duty games. I don't wonder if they would ever even be there. But I imagine Modern Warfare 3 would have been just completely... It would have been a lot more like Modern Warfare 2, I think. And I also don't think that they would have ended the campaign of the Modern Warfare series the same way that they did with Modern Warfare 3 because, of course, different developer. I think the Modern Warfare series would have ended differently, or maybe not have ended, and then instead of Call of Duty Ghost, which, of course, is the new Infinity Ward, we might have a completely different game. We could have had a Modern Warfare 4, or we could have had a completely different IP where it would have been different than Call of Duty Ghost. It would be a lot different. It definitely would be interesting. I think it's kind of fun to speculate that kind of thing. But, of course, the world will never know what it would be like if the old Infinity Ward didn't leave. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what is your internet speed? Personally, I get 2.5 down and 1 up, and I hate it. Blake from Illinois. So, Blake, that's some bad internet. That's some awful internet. I think the worst internet I ever had was, I think it was like 6 down, 2 up or something like that. That was like the worst internet I ever had. Currently, I have 30 down and 3 up, though as of late, the internet has just been completely awful. And I think they're honestly starting to throttle me at this point because I gotta go over my usage for the internet every month. Because my internet cap is 200 gigabytes every single month, right? I upload more than that just to YouTube every single month, and that's not, and that's not counting, actually using the internet for things other than just strictly uploading. So I go over it every single month, and like towards the end of the month, it always feels as though they start to throttle my internet a bit. Like it says, if I can run speed test over and over and over again, it'll say you're getting between 25 and 30 download. But I'm not. Like, I'm actually, like, physically trying to download something right now, like, via KeepBit or something, and I'm literally downloading it at a pace of, like, half a megabit byte thing, whatever MB stands for, right? I'm, like, downloading at half of 1. That's how slow my download's going. And I hate it. I hate it. Armstrong is an awful internet provider. Don't anyone tell you otherwise. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, will you ever do some more Pokemon Showdown videos, or was that just a quick little phase? And also, would you ever battle subscribers? Jacob from Vancouver. So Jacob, I did some Pokemon Showdown stuff on my Let's Play channel. If you guys know what Pokemon Showdown is, it's basically like a competitive battling website where you just make all of your Pokemon and then you guys go fight. And the thing I don't like about Pokemon Showdown is you're playing with perfect version of Pokemon. It completely takes away, the entire idea of Pokemon for me, which is taking your Pokemon, raising it, and having fun with that, and just playing the game. Whereas now, on Pokemon Showdown, it's having perfect EVs, having perfect IVs, and just copy and pasting your moveset from Smogon, or looking up a complete team and all their movesets from Smogon. It just basically becomes an idea of like who can, copy and paste the better team, which is one of the reasons I'm starting to actually stop playing Hearthstone as much as I did, because Hearthstone's really starting to turn into, oh boy, so this deck really is really good, I'm gonna post it on the internet, now everyone's gonna use this deck. Like there's no original creations anymore. When I did Pokemon Showdown, my team was completely made off of Pokemon I liked, and whether I won or lost, it was okay, because I was using ones I liked. Like, I was using Venusaur, which, of course, Bulbasaur is my first starter ever. So I'm using Mega Venusaur, and I'm using Golem. And I'm using, like, just Pokemon I want from Generation 1 for the most part, just Pokemon I like, and then there's everyone coming out with, like, all these, like, you'll face people on Showdown, and they just all have the same team. Every single person in the world leads with a Rotom Wash. Every single person. Then they have the Paraflinch Togekiss. It's just annoying. It's not fun at that point. It just becomes a battle of who can copy and paste from Smogon more, and it's not fun. So I'm not going to play Pokemon Showdown anymore. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what is your dream Call of Duty map, and what do you think about having bots in Advanced Warfare? Blade from Texas. So, my dream Call of Duty map, and this is my favorite map of all time, I did my top 10 Call of Duty maps, is CeeLo. I love CeeLo from World at War. Make a zombie map that features CeeLo somehow. That would be kind of my dream idea, I guess. Or maybe just some more World War II style zombie maps. And I kind of like what they did with Origins, and they have that entire World War I setting, that entire cinematic. Maybe have one in Stalingrad. Maybe have one, something like that. Some World War II based, or possibly CeeLo, I think would be a great zombies map. And the idea of bots in Advanced Warfare. So there's a couple ways you can take this. So traditionally, bots in Call of Duty are in private matches, be it combat training, or more recently in Call of Duty Ghost, you can just add bots in a private match to be on your team or face against, and that's kind of cool. I'm all for that. Who's against being able to put bots in private matches? Who would be against that? But here's another thing I thought of while reading your question. Are you talking about bots in the form of AI bots similar to what they have in Titanfall being in the Advanced Warfare multiplayer? That'd be stupid. I don't think that would work out very well at all, to be honest. Like, just take an older Call of Duty, for example. What would Nuketown be like if there were 6 players on each team plus 6 bots running around, It would just be weird. I don't think the idea, like, Titanfall bots, they work for what they are in Titanfall. They wouldn't work in Call of Duty. They just totally would not work in Call of Duty. Next and final question, he's going to write, Dear Nero, do you think in the next 5 to 10 years there will be a new gaming console or system that will overtake both PlayStation, Xbox, and PC? Although that's 3, because you said both PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, but all 3 of them. I get what you're saying. Nico from North Carolina. So Nico, here's an idea. I don't think there's going to be some random console. There's not going to be like an Amazon console. There's not going to be like an Apple console or something like that that randomly pops up out of nowhere and everyone's like, oh my god, we must have this console. Or the Steam box, for God's sakes. The Steam box. Yeah, it's going to do great. But my idea is, this is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that the lifespan of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 is shorter than what the Xbox 360 and what the PlayStation 3 had. 7 years, wasn't it? It was 7 or 8 years that the 360 and the PS3 were out. That's a very, very long time. And as that time's going on, technology is progressing and games are advancing. And at the same time, games are being held back because they have to continue to work and be able to run on that old hardware, right? Gaming can be pretty awesome on the PC when you have all those crazy features and you have all the amazing graphics, whereas the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, they kind of struggle to even pull 1080p 60 frames per second on a lot of different games. So I'm hoping in 5 years at the maximum that there is a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox 2 or whatever they want to call it. I'm hoping that by that point that they're out, they run for the same price, $500, $400 for each console, but they actually have the hardware capabilities to run 1080p on every single game. They can run 60 frames per second on every single game, unless of course the game is designed not to be at 60 frames per second. But I want the consoles to have the ability to be able to do that. That's what I want from consoles. Within the next 5 years, I want more consoles. And that sounds crazy because there's people that don't even have the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 yet. But to be honest, guys, you're not missing out on a whole lot. You're really not. There's not really any good games out for either one of the consoles. There's a few good games. If you're like Call of Duty, you'll probably like it on your next gen console because the graphics look a bit better. They're markedly better than what you see on the 360 and PS3, so they look better. I like Madden. I can't wait for the new damn Madden. I love Madden every single year. Madden is so much more fun on the Xbox One because the graphics are, of course, a bit better. But that's all you're really paying for is slightly better graphics on your consoles. That's all you're getting as of right now, and it's not like there's any real exclusives out there that you can't get. I mean, the UFC game, I posted a few videos of that to my channel. That's a fun game. It's a fun game. If you like the UFC, it kind of sucks that you can't play on the 360 and the PS3. But are you gonna buy a $400 console just to play the new UFC game? I don't think so. There needs to be a bunch of awesome games that are exclusive to those consoles before people really start to buy them, and there's no reason to really buy them. There really isn't. And even if you do buy them, the graphics aren't even full 1080p on a lot of different games. And it's like, kind of a letdown. I'd say that the next gen consoles so far are pretty much a letdown. But either way, hope you guys all enjoyed this week's episode of Dear Nero. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. And if you guys like to send in your guys' questions for next week's episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube. Make the title of the message Dear Nero, and next Wednesday I will go through all the questions and copy and paste them in this here text document and read them and answer them. And that's how Dear Nero works. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.